When you win one in double overtime?
No, right. Actually, you know, the weird thing about coaches is I don't even know how we won, man. You look at the way they shot, the way we broke down in execution and everything, besides the fact that we didn't turn the ball over very much. Just never quite got in the flow. So, you need an opening statement? Or is that part of it?
Sure.
Well, I mean, first off, hats off to Jeff. He does a great job with his group. He really does. And obviously they put the 1-3-1 out on you. They spread you out on offense. They force you to guard. They force you to be alert. And he had two guys tonight that were absolutely tremendous, and Jones and Denuno. They were just unbelievable. And Denuno got it going, and Jones was just driving us. And we could never seem to get ourselves together to guard the balance. And some of those shots Denuno hit, I remember the day once long ago when I got in those modes, and it felt good. So what do you say? It's hard to guard, but you know, looking at the stats, if you were to pick up the paper tomorrow, you look at the stats, it looks like TSU lost. You know, particularly a team shoots 51% against you on the road, 70% from the free throw line, and they shoot 43% from three. So you ask, how did we win when we shot 48 and 68 from the line and 23 from three? A couple of things I thought that really helped us. 15 offensive rebounds. We got some big rebounds late in the game, down in the stretch, and not just from post players, but guards, Jordan Cyphers, Pat Miller, Will Peters, guys that got some big rebounds for us, so that was certainly part of it. And then, of course, you look at the free throw. You know, we doubled them up on the free throw line. We get there 35 times, so we've got 12 more points from the free throw line than they did. And then, more importantly, I would tell you, from the inside in the paint, we were able to score the ball in the paint. Kellen Thornton comes out today, and he's darn good from the very beginning. And you know, comes out in the second half, and he's right at it. And you know, Kellen didn't play very many minutes. Kellen had 14 points, and I think he only played 12 minutes. 14 points and 4 rebounds. Now, fortunately for us, it was a little concerning. You know, Kellen came out in the second half, and one of my assistants, Coach Everett, said he didn't look right, and he didn't. And I asked him, was he okay? And he told me he was, and I looked at him, he didn't look right, so I told the officials to please watch him. And then, of course, a couple possessions down, he scores twice. And then the next possession down, I thought he was about to pass out on me, so I was really concerned, but maybe a virus or whatever, but he was dizzy, just didn't quite look himself. And you know, I told our guys in the locker room, you know, I don't care about basketball. I care about you way more than basketball. Basketball is not that important, really, not in the whole scheme of life. Now, obviously, it's how I make my living, but I love and I care about our kids far more. So, you know, that's one of those deals, you know, just be honest with me, because I would hate for something like that to happen.
So the play then did not happen in the second half. It happened before the second half?
Well, I don't know when he quite got sick or started feeling that way. I think he may have been feeling that way at halftime. I don't know. So there wasn't something that happened. I just think it may have been something, I don't know if it was something he ate, it came out with a virus or whatever, but he didn't look right when he went in. He really did. I put him in, and you know, I'm like, okay, he just needs to get going. But he said, and I asked him, "You okay?" He's like, "I'm okay, I'm okay." And then he scores. You're like, okay, he's okay. But and I ask him again, and then I tell the officials to watch him. And at that point, I said, and I'm about to get him, and the play stops. And heck, I walked down the court. I don't even know if it stopped the buzzer or what was going on. You know, at that point. But so hopefully he'll be fine. You know, don't worry about basketball. Make sure he's healthy.
Did you give Covington any pointers about how to play with 4 fouls? He had 4 fouls for both of the overtime.
He did. He played with 4 fouls, and let's be honest, Rob, he didn't play his best game. You know, he was okay for Rob. I mean, okay, Rob, he still had 22 points and 8 rebounds, but as far as being a factor, and he goes to the free throw line late in the game, he missed 2. I couldn't believe it. I called him over to kind of encourage him a little bit. You know, probably don't want to say what I said to him, but. You know, it's funny, not as bad as he played, but he didn't play as well as he was capable of playing. He still shoots a high percentage from the field. He's 9 of 17. Obviously, he didn't shoot it well from three tonight, 1 of 5. We didn't shoot it well as a team. It's an interesting team. Past couple of years, we've shot the ball very well from 3. And I mean, we have not really shot the ball well from 3, but we've been able to hit some key buckets. Jordan Cyphers hits a key 3.
Yeah.
Kenny Moore hits a key 3. You know, Will Peters steps up and knocks down 1. So it's funny, the ones that we hit have been timely. But, you know, you just keep plugging away. And tonight we get to the free throw line 35 times. Well, you outscore them by 12 points. That's the same as 4 threes. So, you know, if you're 9 of 21 from 3, you're happy. that 12 points. So you just try to get them how you can, and we limited our turnovers. You know, we got 11 steals tonight, and only had 11 turnovers. So not bad. But you know, we're figuring it out. We're trying to get better. You know, we're 13-10 right now, and obviously not satisfied. I don't know. I think, you know, we hadn't been probably at this point in a while here in this program. But you know, 6-4, and just having to figure out how to compete, and we're able to go on the road and win 2 back-to-back road games.
So how important was it to you to break that road losing streak?
Well, it's funny. I mean, I knew we hadn't won on the road in a while, but I didn't know the dates until someone told me. That hadn't been that long. But as you look across the country, the best teams in leagues are the teams that go on the road and win. And a lot of times there are teams in leagues that you know are more talented than some teams, but they can't find a way to go win on the road. And so that's part of a breaking through the ice. And I've said it once, and I'll say it again, is that as our program develops and as we continue on in building this, Rome wasn't built in a day. And there were so many things that you try to overcome, but when you've had a losing record for so long, it's typically not because of losing at home. It's because you don't win on the road. And winning on the road, you learn how to win on the road. It doesn't just happen. And that's a mental toughness, that's an intestinal fortitude. It's a preparation and understanding how to prepare, and we won 2 games, but you know, we've got 2 more games left to go on the road, and you know, we had two tough places to go. SEMO's played incredibly well. They're sitting in second, and we got to go to Murray. So we got the 2 big dogs we got to go to. And you can go to those places, and you can get your head knocked out. But you know, you just try to put it together, 1 possession at a time. You try to defend, and see what happens.
Okay. Is another part of becoming a winning program handling back-to-backs?
Well,
Saturday, Mondays.
Well, this is hard. I mean, this is either I think it may be the 3rd time. I know it's the 2nd time that we've gone Thursday, Saturday, Monday, and this is hard. And it's funny because the last time we played EKU, we had a 1-day prep also. That's a hard team to prepare for in 1 day. And so what happens is you don't get to prepare everything, especially coming off a Thursday. You're traveling back, your team's tired, you only got them for 1 day, so that's hard. But you know, you try to keep your guys rested. I mean, of course, we go double overtime tonight. That really helps us give rest. So now I've got to figure out a way again. You know, how do you get this group ready? And that's when you try to lean on it. You hope that some of your older guys are mature enough to say, hey, I'm going to get some sleep tonight. I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to take care of my body because we got some really big games coming up. So hopefully we can rely on that and see how we handle it. And it's a big game. Peace coming in. It's a big game for us. And next game is always the biggest.
Once again, some great play by the smaller guys,
Right.
and doing a lot of stuff underneath.
Well, you know, we start out as midgets, man. We start out 3 guys down low, but what is it? It ain't the size of the dog, but it's the size of the fight in the dog. And that's what I say. You know, those guys they battle, they compete. It's funny. I watch those guys get caught on those posts inside, and they just work their little tails off. So, you know, it's a lineup that's worked for us. You know, we had 5 guys in double figures tonight, and it's just, I don't know, it's just confidence or whatever. I think we're better defensively with that group, although we're smaller, and so at times that can be taken advantage of. But you know, you put them out there. Sometimes you worry about the matchups, but you also have to remember they got to guard you too, and that's the other side of it. Someone once said, "Speed kills." So.
Kenny had a big night. He came in, got a lot of minutes, was big in a lot of areas, and was great underneath. Stepped outside, was nice outside.
He really did. You know, it's funny. He played pretty well last game, and he didn't have these kind of numbers. And the game before that, and you know, I looked at Kenny and I told him it was a point of the year. You know, he wasn't as healthy as he had been last year. His knees had been bothering him, and I think there's certainly he's been frustrated at times, but he's hung in there. And I told him, you know, his ability to pass the ball and some of the things he can do, the other guys on our team don't do as well. You know, you're gonna be a factor, but you got to hang in there, and you may not be starting, but who cares? And I know it's hard for kids to understand, but you know, at the end of the day, when you're in down the stretch and you're playing those minutes, those are big minutes. And he had a couple of possessions there in a row where he was really big for us. Still makes a nice pass to Will, knocks down a shot, and we run a play for him, I think, in the second overtime, and he gets it inside and reverse. That's a big bucket and a good move by him. So I'm happy for Kenny. His mom was in town, so it's always good when you play well in front of mama.
Your team seems, I mean, just watching from the side, everybody seems to be pulling for everybody now. They seem to be really together.
I would tell you we've gotten to that point. You know, this was, in my 3 years here, this was one of the harder teams I had to coach. And I really like these guys. So it's not a bad group guy, but, you know, just trying to find the chemistry. And unfortunately what happens as you go, we have some guys that were playing earlier that aren't playing as much now. And so for me, it's really hard. I mean, you know, I know it can't happen, but I want everyone to have the great experience, everyone to be able to play, but it's hard. You can't do that. And some of those guys, I mean, I could go down the line. Tashawn Frederick didn't play tonight. Mike Green only played a little bit. Karan Butcher, but, you know, those guys have been selfless, and they've continued to cheer on their teammates. And what happens is you don't know when your time's going to come. Jay Harris hardly played in the first 10 games. He went games without playing. And now he starts, and he's playing minutes. And so, you know, you hope guys rally around the fact that you're winning, that they're important. They're just as important as the guys that are playing. And if they'll believe in that and rally around that, then it really does become fun, because it's easy. It's easy to get down when you're not playing. I understand that, you know, but, you know, you just got to hang in there, because you never know. I mean, you know, Kellen goes down tonight, and he's sick. Guys just step up. So that's what it's all about.
This is probably a little early, but you think he'll be ready for Monday?
I don't know. I really hadn't, and I don't know if it's a virus. If it's a virus, obviously he may have to run his course. So I'm not sure. He checked out okay, but I think I'll probably know a little bit more tomorrow after, you know, visiting and meeting with Kellen and seeing how he feels, and then we'll sort of see from there. All right.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Yep. No